All right, we're back for another edition of Woodsy's Club Tour, and I got me good old mate, Joshy Reynolds. Mate, how you going, bud?
Mate, I'm great, man. Thanks for the call up.
No,
There's been some
appreciate
good
it.
people on the show, mate.
Oh,
I've been watching.
None better than yourself, mate.
Oh,
But
thanks, man.
we always start off with how we met. Do you remember how we met?
First time, was it through the cows?
Yeah, well,
Cowses?
through my wife's family. But actually, I met you before. I didn't meet you, but I played a game. We were in 20s. I was at Tigers, you were at Dogs, and it was the one where you broke your leg. Yeah.
I remember it.
I remember hearing the actual break too.
That was a bad
But you
one.
were playing
man.
lock forward that day.
Yeah.
Mate.
That was me back in the day, mate. Every position. I was talking to Barry Ward about the other day. He was my Matt's OSG ball coach, and mate, that year I would have played 5 positions. I think we made the major semi,
Yep.
or might have even been the grand final. And I played fullback.
Who's that for? The Haramats?
So it was either, I think it was ball. He was saying, yeah. So like, that was.
Because I remember that when we come up to play against, this bloke can play 5'8", hooker, put him at lock, put him on the edge, mate. Not bad.
But that was the thing. I reckon, in a way, it helps you. But then once you get to NRL, you sort of want to lose the utility tag.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean. Like it's just that.
Then they
it's
only
good.
put you as 14.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So, but mate, yeah, that was a bad, pretty bad injury. The start of one of many.
Oh, I remember hearing it in the game, and
Oh, mate, ugly.
And because I didn't really know you too well, and then I went over to the missus. I was like, "What about this bloke, Joshy Reynolds?" She goes, "Mate, I've known Josh for ages." She goes, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, I heard him crack his leg," and she's like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So-
Nah, mate. We obviously the Callaways. Now you're in.
Yeah, she's
sorry,
a Woods now.
she's a Woods now, but yeah, we've got some funny stories
Oh, we
about
do have some funny
her
stories,
brother
don't
Matthew.
we? Yeah, big cows. But you're a local boy, mate, at Belmore. Mate, you come through all the grades, mate. How was it, to come through all the grades, growing up down the road? Was Clemton Park where you grew up, or was that your local club?
That was a local club.
Local
That
club.
was the Clemton Parkers Dragons.
Yep.
That's the thing. Everyone gets a bit mixed up thinking I played for
The St. George,
St. George
comp.
Dragons,
Yeah.
but it's the St. George Dragons in the Canterbury comp.
Yep.
And then, Clemton Park was our home ground.
Yep.
But yeah, mate, we're always around there. Mum and like Nan lived in
Yep.
Belmore, so mate, always around that area. And yeah, mate, it's cool, man. Like and I still do embrace it. Like love being from there and love growing up there, and mate, eventually being able to sort of play for the Bulldogs is it's pretty cool. And mate, what I've been able to, I suppose achieve footy wise, but at the same time, it's just what I've been able to create there. Like I think, if whatever Bulldogs fans ever think of me, it's just that they know I always try my best for that jersey, and not that I didn't at any other club, but that was when
It means different.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to it's
I've
and
been
don't-
there.
yeah, it's the thing is as well, like it's not like I went to the Tigers and didn't have the exact same attitude. It's just like there's just a feeling, mate, and I don't even know what it is, honestly. What. But it's just that feeling of, like you said, mate, you grow up there, you know everyone. I knew all the staff for years and years, and you become friends with everyone. And, yeah, mate, got lucky
Joe
enough
Bells.
Joe Bell,
Yeah.
one of the major players in my career, Joe Bell. She, but no, honestly, it is, mate. That's all those little things.
Yeah.
So,
And I remember when I got there, because you left, and just, like, I think they underestimated how much you actually meant to that club. Like, you was just a huge part, not just the club, but the community. And like you said, you're born and bred in Belmore. One thing I want to clarify too, a lot of people I know that know you and they think that they know you. You're not a Habibi, are you?
I'm not a hubby,
Nah,
no.
you're an Aussie, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh, well, look, mate, I've
Because our great mate Anthony Maroon tries to tell me you're one of the great Lebanese.
Lebanese, yeah. Well, it's just, I think just because I grew up in Belmore.
Yep.
There was a day though where Robbie Farray, our good mate, went actually on. I think it was a Fox Sports interview.
Yes.
And said it, which
That you are Lebanese.
yeah. So then he said, like, they were talking about a World Cup. I can't remember which one, and Robbie was going to play for the Cedars, and he just mucked around, G'd it up, threw it out there.
Yep.
And I always knew because our mate also Craig Woody. He always
Yes, Craig.
he's a quarter Lebanese for living in Belmont, but he always used to say this village, Vesharde. I don't know if I said it right, but people ask me, I always said that.
And then so people just go, mate, I know that. I'm
Yeah.
from up the road.
Yeah,
We could be
literally, next
cousins,
village.
mate.
Yeah. But then, mate, when Farah said that, I was starting getting the name in named in possible Lebanese teams.
Oh,
and
really?
that.
So you
I
were
was
like
6 with Mitch Moses.
So you're in the 30-man squad.
Yeah. Oh, mate, but then one day I had to come out and be like, look, I'm not, because I might have got picked.
Imagine, I should have run with it.
Yeah, but I'm still spewing to this day. I do say that. I wish I played for the Cedars,
I reckon
but-
you would have fitted well in. And then, obviously, your nickname's Grub. How did that obviously we know you're a grub on the field.
Yeah,
but was it from who gave it to you?
So it was a funny one, mate. I used to be called Bones
Bones,
because obviously like skinny as
Yeah, I
Bones and
remember
whatever,
that, yep.
mate. But so Jimmy Dimmick,
Yep.
great man, Jimmy.
Great man of nicknames too.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He sort of come on and said, what was it? It's from a show, a movie. Do you remember a movie about the footy movie? They brought out a footy movie.
With Matt Johns?
Yeah, what was that called?
I know it was he a Newtown coach or something?
Yeah, something like that.
With the guy that does all the voiceovers at Fox, Matt Nable.
Nable, yeah. So it was something to do.
The last winter? No, was that?
It was something like that. Yeah. So anyway, and the main character,
Matt Nable.
Yeah, was he the main character?
Yeah, he was the big enforcer.
The guy.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. He was a bit of a grub on the field, and I think I don't know if Jimmy just said he thought I looked like him in that.
Wow.
And then that's where it just comes from. Yeah, just that movie, and it's stuck ever since. And
do you like the nickname?
Mum's hated it ever since.
But do you like it?
I love it.
It's a great nickname.
Mate, I don't care. I don't care. But then that's what Mum always says, like, God bless her. She's like, but he's not like that, like off the field.
Well, that's one thing I do tell everyone. I say, mate, on the field, he's
mate, I'm the worst.
Mate, he's the worst. And
you know what? Like, it's funny now because I honestly can. I tell myself this, but ever since I had stopped playing with Mick Ennis, I changed.
Reckon?
He used to get it in me. He used to make me want to do things, mate.
Well, it's funny because speaking to Dave Clemmer, he used to go, mate, I'd be good in the sheds before a game, but then Mick would say something to me and the eyes would just start rolling.
Yeah, it is, but mate, I'm telling you, he used to make you want to run through walls, and then like he'd say stuff to me on the field like, "Well, go after him, then," and like I'd just be like,
"Don't let him put it over
back
you."
Literally things like that, but like, then mate, sometimes you watch it back now, and sort of towards the back end of my career, honestly, I wasn't like that anymore. But because people seen that, they used to,
mate.
Well, they used to get into me, and I'm like, I'm not really like that anymore, man.
And then, so you get a preseason, so you're doing the 2011, and I spoke to heaps of people about you. They reckon you were one of the fittest blokes ever. Like, you could just run for days. But then I heard Mick Ennis is quite fit too. So you used to like push each other real hard because I've heard you got a great relationship with him, but you both hate losing.
Yeah, mate. We speak about it like this little like this is it's a funny story. Do you know Harry Harris?
Yep. Yeah.
So he
one of the great trainers,
mate.
Honestly,
one of the great trainers, one of the best people managers I've ever seen.
Yep.
And I love him for it, mate. Like speaking to him the other day, actually,
where's he at now?
No, he hasn't got a gig at the moment, mate. So he's looking for a gig. So, but if anyone ever speaks to me, honestly, like
he's a great bloke, mate.
Nah, but even just like really good at management,
Yep.
he gets it, man. Like he understands that, if you put in 120% on the field for that day, he takes a little bit off the weights, and he just got it, mate. He understood that. Not all the top 30, even the top 30 players, you should treat them any different to the guys that are coming through. He just really got it. So, mate, I loved him. But he had a funny story. He just thought he used to call me like a little runner. Yeah. So he said the only reason they hear you like the bait, a dog, the greyhounds. He says, I'm just the rabbit. He used to go, oh, look at the little runner. Yeah, look at your perch. Because
he's a pommy fella too.
Yeah, he's got a funny accent.
Yeah.
But I used to run, me back was, that's what he'd say. He'd go, I don't know how you keep going, but your back's gone. You've got the worst technique. You're over like this, but you're a mile in front. Like, he's mate, he used to but that's what he said. He goes, you're not here for footy. He said, you're only up here so Mick and that can chase you.
Oh, that's not good.
But yeah, so pretty funny though.
Yeah,
but obviously that's a relationship we had, and but yeah, man. But like, I could tell Mick that was a time because I think like Mick he would have been probably the best at fitness in everything he'd done everywhere as well, but that was just me thing, mate. I was skinny, 70 kilos, wringing wet, and mate, I just used to love the run, and I used to go after it like.
So you enjoyed the preseason.
Look, this is what everyone thought, and this is what all the big boys used to say. Like, look, like you don't even worry. But for me, of course, I worry because
you got to come first.
Well, I have to win it.
Yeah,
this is what no one ever understood. And they're like, "Oh, you do it easy." Like I just remember, like even Tony Williams and that going like, you," and I'm just like, "Mate, trust me, it hurts for me too." But it's just that little bit of pressure.
Well, I reckon it'd be more anxiety for you because you got to win it.
It is, man.
So you're doing it. If you can't have those days where you go, I was going to cruise through today.
Well, this is what happened as well this year, mate. So like, I get to Bulldogs. The preseason this year, the first day, and Trav Tuma, new
from the Roosters,
head and see, coming over, and I was nervous, man, because
Yeah.
like that's the thing though. There's still people at that club right now, like Freddie Serraldo, a few people there, like Stevie Turner, who I'd trained, and they were backing me to win the yo-yo, and I'm going, boys, I'm 34 now, but they put this pressure on me, putting the pressure on me, and I'm like, nah, I'm not the same anymore, mate. I'd share.
How'd you go back?
Oh, well, this is exactly what happened, right? So I went okay.
Yep.
Off a fair,
Break.
fair break.
Yeah.
But then, so we walk off, and mate, I'm like, thank God. I didn't win it.
Yeah.
But like, I was pretty happy with how I went first go back, and then I was like, I felt relief because I was like, oh, so now they know I don't have to win it,
Yeah.
mate. We walk to the fence. Trav comes over and goes, look, boys, it's all mental, but we're going again.
You kidding?
We done double yo-yo, and mate,
How'd you go the second
the
time?
wheels
round?
fell off.
How'd the back go? I don't know.
But I was gone. But the same, like, Trav was good. Like, that's when I felt like we were going to.
So you had no idea the second one was coming?
No one had any idea. Imagine walking over to the fence, thinking nicely, shaking all the boys' hands, and he walks over real calm, but goes,
That's what he does.
boys, get your head around it, but we're going again. Mate, I'm just thinking, like, it's funny because I talk about, like, with Ciro and stuff, like, what were you thinking there, he's saying. Ciro, and I'm like, honestly, mate, it was a tough one because I'm just going, mate, like, one yo-yo's.
How long would that take a yo-yo? Like, for people don't understand that's never done it, like that, you're redlining, which means you're giving
How
you
long?
absolute everything in your juice
How long
tank.
you reckon a yo-yo would take? Like, if you're getting.
10, 15?
Yeah.
But it's just non-stop back and forward, and you get like a rest after each
Yeah.
one. But it's like a dip, and it just keeps going. Then it gets quicker and quicker, the
Oh,
bips.
mate. So, look, man, that was But, yeah, back to the Mick Ennis thing, mate, but pushed each other to the brink in a good way. Like, he just. And, mate, we'd have the best, like, little training stoushes and stuff. Like, not. But, mate, that's just how we were, man. Like, we just. And it wasn't like, I didn't go in there thinking I want to take on Mick Ennis. It was just literally because that was where I feel that's where I just got my edge a little bit sometimes because I wasn't going to go on the field and set up 5 tries, have 4 try assists and whatnot. But I feel if, I was going hard at training, always turn up, like you just said, like always trying to win.
For me, it was the effort areas.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
And that's where I think I found who I was in first grade. Like, another great guy, I loved him, had so much in my career, Tony Grimaldi.
Yep, I love him.
He loved it
He came
about
to Sharks.
Yeah.
Champion.
So he was very old school. He loved that. I think that's why we got on well, because he loved that about me too.
Yeah.
Like, I'd always have a crack at training. And so, mate, yeah, I think that's where probably got the best out of me. Mick helped me, mate. And I hope I helped him because, mate, in the end, we got 2 guys there that got that sort of don't want it. It's just, it's good. And I think it's what sort of helped me get up to that level. And he helped me heaps, man.
2013 starts, a great year, and you get your opportunity to be in the Origin squad. So you pick for game 1, but the only thing is you sit on the bench the whole time.
What a feeling.
But how was it being in the group, mate? Like before you didn't know you weren't going to get on the field. How was it leading up to that game?
Oh, mate, like, I don't know if you actually remember, but I had to have a train off. It was with
Sutton.
Johnny Sutton.
I remember that because I come into the game too.
So that was
Yeah.
Oh, so you come game 2.
Yeah, so I come in
right.
just after that.
Yeah.
I was 18th man.
That's right. So that's what I mean. Yeah, we had to have a train off.
And no one believed it. Like they just thought, oh, this is a GR.
But it actually, it
I
really
know,
was
yeah.
because like
How could you remember?
Loz just said, "Look, boys, I don't know if I'm going to go a big body, or I'm going to go with like a bit of a utility." And it was so weird, mate. But it just made it so much more nerve wracking because that. Every media outlet, the train off in the back of the paper, this and that, and I'm just going, mate, this is nerve wracking.
One day it's like Sutto's going to play. The next day Grubb's playing.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, why would you have this and this and that, mate? Like
players are getting asked in the team.
Yeah,
It's like,
it was a nerve wracking time, mate. But then at the same time, I knew I was in the picture.
Yep.
So like that itself, even just to be picked, mate, to be going into camp, as you know, man, like every kid's dream to play for the Blues. Like you obviously want to play. For the NRL, but mate, like I don't know, man. I got the best memories of watching it with my grandfather. May he rest in peace. Like it's just, I just remember being in that lounge room as a kid, him
Wednesday
swearing
night.
at the TV, like just saying. But then I got to do that. And, it's something I'll cherish forever, mate. You'd be exactly the same. Like it's hard to explain. Like, but now it's funny, mate. Like I've been doing a lot of this lately. Like especially on Mondays, NFL Mondays. I just sort of sit in my little man cave and watch NFL. I know Charlie's like, it's a bit weird. Oh, mate, I got about 10 TVs.
Have a look at your shirt now.
Got them all, my ladder. But I just think, mate, I do. I don't know. It's nice to be able to, because I obviously I don't have to think about preseason, but I can sort of. I know this sounds weird, but I used to be a bit not embarrassed, probably the wrong word, of like thinking about what I've done
Yep.
while I was playing.
You hate talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah, I just like, and some people will be like, mate, you broke the drought, you this and that, but I don't know, I just get a bit anyway. But now I actually sit there and I'm like, man, like that's pretty cool, man. Like I sit there and my jerseys, New South Wales jerseys, framed of like the drought breakers. Like, man, I'm just like, mate, that's cool, man. Like just
Unbelievable. Eh?
yeah, it's special, mate. So but yeah, sorry, back to the train off. Like, man, I remember that night before it, I was the most nervous. And
So when did you get told
about the train off? So I think I went into camp. And he told us straight away.
Yeah,
he said, "I'm picking both years." Yeah. So but I think it might have been like day 2 of camp. Day 1, we just rolled in, done what you do, get your gear, and then it might have been day 3. Day 2, we had a light run, but then the day 3 it was on.
Yep.
That was the day where he was going to make a decision. And I just remember the reason he was going to pick me was to play hooker.
Yep.
Because I'd been playing a bit of utility and
you
so whatever. But I just remember like because I hadn't played much hooker at Bulldogs. I was 5'8" that whole year. I hadn't done much of me left to right off the ground. So that's what I was worried about, man.
So everyone at training with you, like,
mate, you should have seen me that first day on the thingo. I stayed back and just whacked out heaps, just because I was like, well, this is. I think it's going to be the difference, do or die, like. And I just remember, like, I throw a bit of a Harbour Bridge too. And I was like, no, get there. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Were you looking left and right? Was Loz watching?
I was see that, Loz? And I don't know who would have been the right half. So it was Piercy would have been right half.
Yeah.
I want to say to this day.
No, yeah, Maloney was 5'8", wasn't he?
In 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
he was
there next year. Yeah.
I'll just say Piercy now, mate, one of my good mates. I didn't hit him a few times just because I was a bit nervous to go that way. But no, mate, then ended up getting the run off the train. When Loz come in and told me, mate, that was like, I was so nervous because he's like, boys, I'll have a think after training. I'll come in and let you know.
Yeah.
And
but even the boys, when the boys found out, I remember they were all up going nuts.
But it was a bit of a hard one, wasn't it? Because Sutto's such a legend. You know what I mean? Like that's the.
And the thing is, Sutton never got to play after that.
Nah. So that's yeah. And mate, look, Sutton was an amazing player. We had some mad battles, like when we were up against South and. But yeah, man, I literally remember as soon as Loz told me that, I'd literally got on the phone and just went. I just really clearly remember walking out to the exit of the hotel and just rang mum and
good on you.
The best moment of my life, mate. Like one of the best, like just cry like tears because it's just like, especially because of the build up too, you know, like that massive build up and
people don't understand how like. What it means to people to actually achieve that goal. Yeah. Well, that's one of the pinnacles of the game.
Yeah, mate. That's the thing. You go through the highs and lows of your whole footy career, and everyone does it, mate. But everyone, and that's the thing. And then you get there, and it's just like, special moment, man.
So obviously, you get through that. The next year when you play Origin in 14, you picked as 5'8". Mate, how does that feel? And with your club teammate in Trent Hodkinson.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Like especially because picked to play 5'8". I'd already had a little taste, so.
And one thing I always like to, because I know myself, it was different. Did you learn a lot from those first 2 games you played in 13 to the way to prepare for 14?
Big time, man.
Did you feel like you blew? Like I always say, I blew my load too early in the week.
I was gone. Like I don't think you realise how big the Origin beast is. Not even the game, but just everything that goes with it. Like, mate, you got to function on that night.
You got your whole media day.
You got the piss up the first day.
Well, mate, and that's where you get to know everybody.
Oh, it's the best.
And then every training session, there's 1,000 media there.
Yeah,
people want to talk to you. You know, or your family. Then you
want to
organise
tickets. Like you want to embrace it. Like you want to enjoy it. But then you sort of, I feel sometimes, that's the thing. And that's where like all the greats like. They do it over and over again, so it's just another. But I feel when it's your first ever like series and stuff, like it gets the better of you if you don't have a plan in place. That's why it's good to have like or speak to guys like Groover and Gow that all done it, and they're like, look, mate, it's going to be this, but you got to know that there's a game to play.
Definitely,
and that's what you're there to do, right?
And then speaking of that game 1, like, I tell you what, this is the hardest game I've ever played. That game 1,
easy.
Like we had a good start. What about that second half up at Suncorp?
man, honestly, mate, like we just held on.
Did we even get out of our own end?
I don't think so. And that's the thing as well. Like we were, because we all, I don't know if you remember, but so this was the big difference for me in Hocko. Des like to control everything.
Yep.
A lot of things.
So you stick to the right.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
To the left.
Yeah, and even just like we're doing these plays, but even just the delivery of it, like a lot of halves these days, I don't know if you've played, coaches get them to do the videos.
Yep.
And then they're demanding like you go
They
here,
want the
Woodsy.
players to drive it. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is
awesome,
really
yeah.
good. But at the same time, Des was so good at what he done as well. So he just always do a lot of the attack and stuff. So when we come into camp, Loz was like, boys, I need you to lead the videos. This is the thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's a bit hard. Like it was a bit daunting. It's hard to tell Paul Gallen, make sure you're there because, like, mate, look at Gal's Gal. He's been
Farrell,
Origin.
I want the ball.
Yeah. But it's that. So that was a challenge in itself, man. But mate, we grew up really fast.
Yep.
You know, for me and Hocko, we always just look at each other and be like, compare our notes, but it was just good, man. It made us grow as a person and as a player. I reckon so. But then. So back to we were playing the Bulldogs footy, a bit of that style. So
we had Jamos forwards. You have Jamos outside you?
I don't know if it was that game. I think it was actually that first one. So so we were actually playing a bit through the forwards, and so it was a bit easy for me and Hocko, but it wasn't working, mate. Like we were so close that game. What was it, 8-6?
Yeah, it was
or something like that.
12-8
or something like close game.
Yeah.
Just a real like Origin game.
I think the only one time we got close to getting off our own in was when Hainsey made a break.
Yeah.
It was on fourth play.
Yeah.
So we had to kick next play.
Yeah. So, mate, it was just, easy, the hardest game I've ever played.
What about that last tap in that game? Remember, I've never seen you run around, mate, like a headless chook.
Oh, man. I was just so excited, man. I just was like, there's this one photo of a few of us. And we're just like, but that's just the thing, isn't it? Like, you're up against the whole of Queensland. That's the crazy thing. And it's just so hostile. They're into you. And then you win a game up there against a team like that. Like, honestly, mate.
Like, you look at now, they're gonna have some immortals in there.
Easy.
3,
Easy.
I reckon.
Like, but that was the thing. That's why I love that 2014 team. Like, mate, we just like, we didn't care about that, did we? Like, on paper,
talking about it now,
mate, you just, like, we
were rubbished from everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Mate, I've still got the article.
Yeah.
On the Queensland, the Courier Mail or whatever. It's like, they were laughing because they picked me and Hocko.
Yeah,
like it was some headline battle of the duds. Loz actually brought it up. I think if he brought it to the thing saying, what are you going to let them talk to our halves? It's pretty cool.
Yeah. To our middles. I remember
just
that.
like, and then that you're reading those articles and then, mate, to go up there and win, you just let it all out.
Oh, mate.
Literally, you don't know who you're yelling at. I was looking at Queenslanders in the crowd, like, getting,
I remember I got one of the bird and got in trouble for it, mate. Yeah.
Oh, mate, but that's just what it meant, man.
You just get caught up in the moment.
You do, mate.
It was 8 years since we'd won the series.
Mate, crazy, man.
So to get that win in Origin 1, we go down to Sydney. Do you remember that? That build up to that one was unbelievable.
Crazy, man. Honestly, mate, like that's the thing, right? You win that, and then you're like, oh, we're gonna win again. Yeah. And like that's the thing, like we just
to maintain that momentum that we're at, and like remember after this shit, like it was just like, wow, we've done what we've achieved, what we wanted to do, but we've got to go to Sydney now,
and you got to win.
Yeah,
but it was good. Like it was that feeling of like, boys, we've done that. Is it fair to say? Do you reckon we've done the hard part? Nah, actually, no. Winning the last game of Sydney's even like it's hard, but like
when these blokes backs against the wall,
mate,
when they play their best,
them,
yeah,
like that's the thing, and that was it. Like we just.
So talk to me. Hodko slices through. There's like 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock. What are you thinking there?
Oh man, I sprinted. The fastest I think I've ever sprinted to get to him, just to give him a big hug. And
I was the same.
But then that, mate, it was like, oh my god, I think like you don't want to think it, yeah, like you're a chance,
yeah.
But then like there was all these little that 5 minutes, the longest ever.
You know. Remember the kickoff when you were in front of me? The ball hit me.
Mate,
and remember, I'm going, Grubby, kick a touch. Go for a touch, mate. You go, mate, slow the game down.
But I know.
I'm going, brother, it's hit me chest. Kick for a touch.
Oh, mate, I'm just going, slow it down. And you're like, go. Oh, but that was just it, man. Like, you know what? I'll be honest. Like,
couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah, but that's the moment. Like, I'd never had a moment like that ever in my life. Mate, going up against that, like, I got like Thursday in front of me, like, I could tell. Like,
battle with, and that's, a lot of people don't understand, but what you did to Thurston in that series, it put him off. Like, he was trying to fight you.
Man.
When has Thurston tried to fight? One of the best blokes you ever meet. One of the happiest, nicest blokes.
Oh, mate, like, that's just another thing that I get to be like embarrassed about talking about because, like, he's like, I used to look up to him, man.
He's good.
He is, and like it's mate. One of the best things. Like whenever I do have kids one day, like I'll be able to say, "Boys, I'm in Thurston's book." Not for something good, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, mate.
And it was always a bit.
That was your
media,
job in the team.
Media pump it up, like showing no respect. But it's probably the complete opposite. I respected him that much that I knew I had to do it.
Yep.
Because if not, he just dictated the game
Mate.
he did for 8 years.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you knew that show and go was coming.
All the time, and that's the thing. And then, like, you know, people like always say, like, you know, what were you saying to him? And I always say, like, I don't even know. I just get that caught up in it.
Honestly, I don't even think I think you were just, like, hitting him or nudging him.
Oh, it was not
doing things that were just annoying.
Just like kick pressure and that, like. But then the thing was, too, like, you think from his perspective, he's like, mate.
Who's this young bloke?
Beat it.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, mate, at the end there, like, I just remember, like, something happened in the ruck. I done something outrageous. And he lost it, man.
Yeah.
He just had on the floor. And,
that was the moment I knew he won.
That was it. Because I was just, like, in my head, I'm just like there's knuckles there. There's like, I remember it. I'm just like, mate, it's over.
Oh, mate.
But, like, that's how, and it's literally, I can say it right now, it's not like it's just like, I just can't believe, man, that we actually won that. And I said to him after the game, like, there's a photo of, I actually keep it because, like, it's just like, it was me that point in my life with the best, probably if not the best half to ever play the game.
By far.
And I'm just letting him know that I've got the utmost respect for you as soon as we get off this field.
Yeah,
and I do, like, that's the thing, man. Like, that's where I never wanted to get misread. I absolutely respect him, like, probably more than anyone, because it's just, he was the best in the game and I got to go against him. And it's just, but we had a little scuffle on the field, and
that was your role in the team.
Yeah,
and that's what you spoke about. What you're in the first game was all your effort areas.
Yeah,
and just niggling, like just kick pressure, kick chase, putting blokes as they pass the ball, putting pressure on.
Yeah,
and you niggled the best in the game.
And mate, he just like, I was just, mate, every time I see him in that now, man, like,
he just laughs,
there's just something in his head. I reckon he's just like, he feels like saying, I hate ya.
So you haven't had a couple of good years with the Dogs, and then 2017 comes around. How did you get told that you weren't going to be re-signed there? And how did that feel? Like, did that break you a bit, being a local boy, and how much you loved the area and the club?
Yeah, it did, mate. It did. It was more, it wasn't that they didn't want it. They actually offered me a deal.
Yep.
But just the difference between the deal and what I was getting offered elsewhere was a bit of a kick in the teeth, mate. Like, just because, like, I feel and look, I get it, mate. I don't have any, like, I understand that the game's a business.
Yep.
I really do. I've always understood that. But at the same time, for me, doing that, being at the Bulldogs, it hurt me. It hurt me, mate. Like, it really did.
Yeah.
It was the hardest decision I'd ever had to make in my life.
Yep.
Because...
Did you ever see yourself wearing a different jersey?
Nah. I wanted to be a one-club man, and I've said that forever.
Yep.
But in saying that, mate, like, it just... At that time, and... You know, that's why I've got, you know, the utmost respect for Des, because he helped me. Even though a lot of people were like, well, how he was the one, you know, he didn't keep you. But I just had a really good relationship with him, and I knew, you know, he talked to me and whatnot. So, yeah, there was one day where I had to make that call, and, like, I still to this day.
Did you get much sleep the night before it?
Nah. It was just... you know what, mate? I know this is probably weird. It was just making me really sad all the time, because, like, I was just like, man, the more and more the days went on, it was like I was going to have to leave. Yeah, and people say, well, how can you be sad with, like, what you got offered? And I just don't think people understand what that club actually meant to me.
There's so many, like I can understand, because I had the same thing at the Tigers. Yeah, it sucks.
And then people are like,
you're still getting good money.
Yeah, but like, money doesn't bring you, like, for me personally, mate, money doesn't bring me happiness.
Exactly.
It helps. Of course it does. It helps everyone. It helps the world. Like, but at the same time, like, you know, you can.
It's like you lost a loved one.
Yeah, it is.
Seriously, that's what I used to tell everyone. It's like, it's a big hole in your heart taken out.
You can't put a price on what we done in those years I was there for 5-6 years. You can't.
No.
Because if you could, I would pay anything to have it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was chasing that everywhere.
Yeah.
I was, You know, that you never do. I never have still to this day. And that's the thing. You never want to be, and this is why it was a bit of a hard one for me when I come back to the Dogs, because you never want to be that guy talking about all old stories and the good old days or what
The
we've
early
done.
2000s,
But that's what I want for them now.
Yeah.
I want them to realise if you do go well at a club like that and you all buy in and embrace it, how it's an unbelievable place. And yeah, like people, like I've said it before, I wish I never left. Mate, obviously I've set myself up off the field.
Yeah.
With the decisions I've made, I mean that in the sense of like just leaving that club at that time.
Yeah.
Just broke me, man.
Yeah.
Just broke me, mate. And it's a hard one too, because like people are probably like, well, how's that make the Tigers feel? I don't never want people to get this. I always want to sort of say this actually, like, it's not that I didn't want to be at the Tigers. It's just what you create throughout your whole life to make a decision like that.
So one thing we do before you leave on this is a set of 6. So this is about players you've played with, whether it's from here in Australia or your players in England.
Yep.
So which teammate would you want by your side in a fight?
Oh, who's a good brawler? Who can I play with who's thrown him?
Any of the Poms over there, or?
I'm just trying to think who Tigers. Anyone Tigers?
No one there, mate. I was the leader of that. Couldn't throw any.
Can we come back to that one?
We'll come back to that. Hardest decision you've made? I think we spoke about this.
Yeah, it'd be to leave the Dogs, mate. Yep.
Favorite game you've played in?
Ooh, one game. Probably that Suncorp one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Game
because.
1?
Yeah, just because, like, yeah, against all odds. But I know it's funny, but like that was I've never pushed my body to that. Before.
Unbelievable.
And that's a. People might not understand, but it's good to know where your body can go to. That's what we're all pushing to, right?
When you think you can stop, you got more in you. The most influential person in your career?
That's a tough one, man. You like footy wise, or like anything off
man.
field?
Yeah, anything off field. Yeah.
Spoke about him a fair bit. Probably like 2 people. I'll say like leaders. My most inspirational leaders, like Mick Ennis. Like he was just the way he could, like you said, Clem said before, he'd want to make you run through brick walls. But probably the best family man I've ever seen, and I love that.
Yeah.
I'm the godfather of one of his kids, and I just, it's probably the same as like I just love that what he done on the field. He's probably known as a bit of a rascal like myself, but then he'd come off the field, mate, and just put
such a nice fellow.
Yeah, and just put his family first. And I think that's super special. But then you got Jimmy Graham, mate, who just was
big booper.
Oh man, well we roomed together for 7 years, so also it was 6 years. It just
would love to have been a fly on that wall.
Yeah, but then, mate, what he'd do on the field, with his actions, I've just never seen it before. I just used to be in awe of it, playing with him. So yeah, it was the honour to play both of them.
And then your favourite celebration, whether it's individually or as a group. Because you're known to be one of the great celebrators.
I didn't mind a celebration. Oh, mate, can't go fast. You can't go past Sapphire back in the day.
Thanks, Huss.
Sapphire, the cross. Mate, honestly, it was so funny, mate. Like
where to begin?
That's the one thing. Like everyone always says to me, like, do you reckon you should have changed anything? And going back to Pete Musa, like funny story, mate. That's the thing. I loved the off-field stuff. I did. I embraced it so much. And
that's what made you the team man.
Was it right? But sometimes probably not. But at the same time, it's just I feel we bust our backsides on that field so much. That was just my little release. And yeah, sometimes I got it wrong. But then at the same time, I had some of my best nights out.
Mate, 100%.
But he always used to. I'd come in on a Monday, and I'd be like, mate, me back's a bit sore. And he'd go, all right. So what did you drink on the weekend?
Was it 10 schooners or 20?
Oh, but that's the thing, mate. So, yeah, I'd probably that little period, mate. Yeah. I always remember Dino Hallertine, a good mate of ours as well. Yep. He always said to me, nothing better than a Friday night win for the Dogs. Because then we go straight to the mill. But it's Friday night, so you got Saturday recover. And so, but it's mate, it's fair to say I embrace a lot of the wins.
Enjoyed the celebrations, the big fella. And then last one, 3 blokes you'd take on a car trip across the country.
Footy wise, yeah.
Footy-wise, blokes you played with.
Yeah. So James Graham, have to.
Oh, what about the theories would be going on?
Oh, I love it, mate. It's just because we just really like the same things too, mate. Just probably to tell some good stories.
And you just poke him, and you just
Poke the
him,
bear.
and, no, you drive him mad.
I do. That's the thing, mate. Sometimes when we're on the piss, like he just he'd want to kill me, kill me. I'll call him. I won't call him his real name because it's his older ego. But Dennis.
Oh, yep.
You know
Brooksy,
Dennis.
Brooksy, yep. Luke.
Oh, I had a good weekend with Dennis on the weekend. Actually, mate. I just same as me and him, mate. Like some of those, just when I think about the Tigers, I think about those times. To be honest, probably a bit
very
more.
similar.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun, mate.
Oh,
But
mate.
like the quietest, like really
Quite
shy
shy, yeah.
guy. But then, mate, when Dennis is out, I loved
Life
it.
of the party.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So me, him, and who's the third?
Anyone from overseas, mate?
Yeah, I was trying to think because I was
Yeah.
trying to mix it up.
Any of the boys over there?
I'll say who had a crack over there.
Wouldn't be Gareth Ellis. He was one to go home nice and early.
Yeah, good man, Gaz.
Yeah,
but yeah,
he
he didn't.
He wasn't one to celebrate.
He wasn't.
What was your fullback's name?
Jake Connor.
He looked like a bit of a...
Oh yeah, he loved it. I wouldn't have him been me.
Nah.
He's a good man, but
So he's one of those guys just come...
nah, he just didn't have a like. There was
Yeah.
one. There's a photo of me. Because I was slept at his house.
Yeah.
Woke up the next morning, and because over there it's the Fosters.
Yep.
And they think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
I think it's huge, yeah.
It's 7 a.m. in the morning the next morning, and he heard that. He goes, "You Aussies, mate." He goes, "That's sick." And he
That's
said,
sick.
but then when I said he said that's sick, and I just said, so he's for making me feel bad that
soft.
morning.
He's
He's
barred.
out, but he won't like that. He'll be off me. He'll be right. He watches all these things.
Oh, does
too.
he?
Yeah. All right. Well, from over there, we'll say Swifty, Adam Swift, the
Okay.
winger. He's at played Hull with him.
Yep.
Played St Helens.
Yep. Proper
Before
lunatic.
that, not a lunatic, but mate, probably one of the funniest guys.
I'll have to keep an eye on him.
Funny man,
Yeah.
witty, a bit like Woody.
Oh, okay, yep.
Loves a G up,
Quick-witted.
constantly G'ing up.
Yeah.
Constant, and it'd be a good trip because I think he
Jimmy.
knows Jimmy.
Oh,
So
that'd be a great trip.
That's a bit of
St.
a weird. I've got a
Helens
Saint.
legend.
Yeah, I've got St Helens. A bit of a St Helens crew.
That's all right. It's not too bad.
You know, actually would for the ride as well. Our mate Moe Mbai.
Oh, yeah. The
He
politician.
He can.
He can yarn with the best of them.
But he goes for a while. He
He
goes for a few.
Yes.
Yeah, he enjoys it.
That's why
he
he's doing
can
well at
go.
St. Helens.
He goes for a while and he makes. But the only bad thing about him makes some calls when he's had a few.
Some dud calls.
No, not
that.
dud. Some phone
Oh,
calls.
yeah, I've been there too with that.
He rang Kevy Walters.
I was with him once. And
mate.
he rang Jake Friend's mum. Another point. Anyway,
Oh, love
Joshy,
it.
thanks for joining
Thanks,
Woodsy's
legend.
Club Tour, mate. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
All
mate.
the best in the future, mate.
Thanks for having me, brother.